It gives me great pleasure to welcome Jason Bachman, our keynote speaker here today.
A desperate cry pierces the silence. Help! Help! My son, he's going to die! Why is this happening? No, no, no! But no one can help. The hospital staff is trying, but this man's son is about to die. The boy's two parents sat helpless in the hospital waiting room, their newborn's life hanging in the balance, hoping, praying that something would change for the better. But the doctor walks in with an expression that no one wants to see and says the words that no one wants to hear. I'm sorry, but we couldn't stop the head trauma. We did our best, but we couldn't save him. The parents, they didn't remember. They didn't remember that they had a family history of blood clotting disorders. Hemophilia took their son's life. In another time, another place, going up from about there, about 50 feet up, two friends were supposed to be on a regular hiking trip on their summer vacation before starting college. But right now, one of them is dangling off a cliff, and the other is struggling to pull him up. His hand is slipping. His friend uses both hands to grab a hold of him, but it's not working. His hand starts slipping, his fingers, one by one, and he falls. He falls on his head and dies. Coroner report says it's the way he landed. If only he fell a different way. These people that met their tragic end were me, or they could have been. The difference? That my dad remembered about the history of bleeding on my mom's side of the family, and under all this hair, my scalp is wrinkled like a prune from the head trauma. But I live on. That my friend pulled me up and saved me from falling. He anchored his foot in a tree root and gave a good heave to get me safe on top. My pants were coated with red dust, but I was okay. I could be here today. The lesson? There are critical moments in all of our lives that are on a spectrum from being in our control and being completely out of our control. There are people in our lives that make the difference between succeeding and failing in everything. Finding the right study group, getting into a good school, and sometimes even saving your life. Cherish people. My number one piece of advice to you. If you show them love and patience, there's nothing more powerful. They will give you something far more important in return. Loyalty. No fake friendships. Loyalty and real friends build lives. All of you are here because you've accomplished something noteworthy. Volunteering for a good cause, happen to be doing well in school, connecting with the community. But I want to ask you something, and give yourself the answer. Is what you're doing noteworthy to you? Is the time that you're spending on your accomplishments something you're doing because you want to and feel rewarded because of the good work that you're doing, or is it something someone forced on you? Maybe an expectation of a family member, maybe a counselor. Are you not satisfied with all that you've done, even though there's that expectation? But because there's a little critic living in your head that's not satisfied with what you're accomplishing, but only accepts perfect. Your idea of perfect. Ask yourself these questions with all that you do. Do you love what you're doing? Why do you love it? And do you need to put your energy somewhere else when you need to? Everything in life is a powerful lesson. Lessons that we only see if we start looking and thinking. And what I've learned from almost dying several times is that nothing matters unless it matters to you. It must come from a place of love and a place of patience. Otherwise, where there should be joy, anxiety, stress, heartache, those will follow. But wait a second, love, patience, what does that even mean? When I was younger, I used to have a karaoke mic. And recording my show was my favorite thing to do. The audience was in my mind. Entertaining them was my favorite thing. Hearing their cheers, the one guy slamming his mug down a bit too much, the brilliant glare of the show lights up above, with that little red LED on the camera pointing at me saying, "The world is ready." I would talk about what was on TV, Oswald the Octopus, or what I used to play on my old Game Boy, WarioWare Inc., and what I felt in general, mostly hungry and angry, sometimes a little both, angry. But as I started to grow up, I found new interests, many of which others had introduced to me. Medicine, agriculture, plants, politics, debating, and more, but being interested in so many things, I forgot the feeling that I had with the microphone in my hand, and eventually I became confused about what I wanted to do in school. I chose a major in college that wasn't something I was deeply passionate about, but was practical for the moment, and all it took were some health issues for me to take time off school. And that's where I'm at today. Where my friends are now graduating, I'm here. And you know what? That's okay. When you find that one thing that you love like nothing else, that makes you want to wake up in the morning, excited to work on it, that's when no matter what obstacle comes in your way, no matter who tries to redirect your energy, no matter what path you end up choosing in life, you will not stop. It's not about what you'll get out of it at the end of what you're doing. It's not about becoming viral or famous or making money even. It's living in what you do, breathing it, loving it. And if it makes money, that's even better. It's hard not to feel like your job eventually must give you a six-figure salary, a big house, a Tesla. They're going to go bankrupt. You've been told all your life that the path school has set out for you is it. That getting straight A's are what matter. A better GPA is the end-all be-all. That finding a club, any club, is necessary. But stick to it. So your goal in school is to do everything to get the highest grade you can and do something for someone else to show them that you have a personality that might not even be yours. What are you doing it for? Who are you doing it for? Are you doing it because you love what you're learning or because you're supposed to act like it? The things I remember most about high school and middle school was learning about people, where I fit in, that fitting in didn't really matter, and how I could be authentic. Ask yourself honest questions without judgment, without comparing yourselves or your situations to other people who you think might be better off than you. And you will find what you were born to do. It took time, but I found this microphone. But even after this, if you can't find what you're passionate about, what do you do? What does that mean? Do you listen to that little voice in your head that tells you, oh, you're too dumb to do this, even though you're smiling at it, you love it, you want to, but don't try it. Never try it. Simple answer. Patience, patience, patience. Deep breath, deep breath. Here I am, almost a college dropout with arthritis and a bleeding disorder that without medication, I'd be dead a long time ago. My uncles, on my mom's side, they both died from hemophilia. And I find myself taking that for granted too much. We live in a time with so much going on, so many advances, that information is at the tip of our fingers. Interesting things to find wherever you go. The ability to meet others like yourself anywhere. Fortnite. But I get caught up in the minutiae, the small things. The does she like me? The what did my friend say about me behind my back? The why am I so weird? But here's the thing. No matter what your religious or spiritual backgrounds or lack thereof are, doing what you do and knowing that it matters to you, because it matters to you, will free you. It will free you from the expectations of others, and most importantly, yourself. You'll do things because they give you joy. Allow yourself to live in that joy. You'll be free to think more productively. You'll be free to have a better life, even if your crush is with someone else or you didn't get invited to a party. And then the chronic, self-created anxiety and stress that our generation is plagued with will fade away. Slowly and with time, they'll fade away. Here's the thing though. All of you that are here, no matter how you got here, you're doing something right, something well. Too many people take half measures to pass by. But all of you are extraordinary in that you did well enough to be recognized by the Optimist Club for what you're doing now. And for those who nominated you for what you're doing now. For those of you who don't care much about the activity you're doing, that it's to rack up hours for Key Club or doing something that looks good on a resume, I understand. I was there at some degree with you. But right now is your time to explore. Some of you may think that you have your life figured out. Why, how, what, and when you'll do what you want to do. And you absolutely might have that all figured out. But I challenge all of you, the adults in the room, explore something new. It used to be books, but now YouTube has become a place of learning. And you might find a topic that interests you. And if you imagine yourself studying it and making a career out of it potentially, but it scares you. If it does, good. Because that's how you know you're on to something. That's a passion that you have yet to realize. You never know where life is going to take you. But will you allow yourself to take charge of that journey? To live an adult life that's yours? You have to take that charge. But sometimes there's so much going on with what we do and we need a break. You're doing all these amazing things in the community, but what about taking time for yourself? Studies have shown that the human brain is wired to remember and respond more to negative stimuli, negative things that happen, as a survival mechanism, nonetheless. And with Snap, Twitter, Insta, and good old MySpace making the problem worse in certain ways, making stress part of the daily grind, what do? For me, meditation and yoga are practices that I've worked on building in my life. And for only 10 minutes a day of meditation, just sitting and observing, I become happier and more at peace with everything else that's going on. Things out of my control, all starts with the breath. No matter what happens, you are okay. Everything becomes your sandbox to play in. And it doesn't matter if Tommy took your red ball and you wanted to play with that too. And his mom's looking the other way. Ah, freaking Tommy. Hey, Tommy. Deep breath, deep breath. There are lessons in everything that we do. In failure, most of all. It all starts with the head. I almost lost mine 3 times. 2 that I share. And once you start thinking, really thinking, you will recognize the lessons that are available uniquely in your life and use them to create the world that you want. Be okay with where you're at and love where you're at. Use them to create and work on your passion, because then the pressure of creating a legacy or immortalizing your name or making your family proud, la familia es todo, it all becomes unnecessary. You'll set goals that make sense for where you're at, and soon enough, you'll be just as happy with your success as picking yourself back up and continuing forward with love and patience by your side. Thank you. Thank you. And for all the parents and the adults in the room, if you know of any businesses or venues that could benefit from my message, I want to help people, and they're looking for a speaker, let me know. I have my cards on hand, and there's some cards up at the front. Looking forward to talking to you. I'm always available. Thanks so much for your time.
We don't want Jason to sit down quite yet because we have some parting gift for you. Thanks to the members of our committee. Here is a certificate we proudly give to you. Place that in some prominent location in your home. And then, of course, this is something you'll treasure forever. The Optimus International mug. No, I mean, this stuff's great. It keeps your drink hot or cold, depending upon the season. I know.
I'll think
I
about
have one.
Optimus International every time I'm drinking now.
Repeat that again.
I said I'll think of the Optimus International every time I'm drinking now.
And that's the real purpose for the mug. Nathan, a pleasure.
Thank you.
Did I say he was going to give a rip-rousing speech?